want to talk about the weather because there's a chance of rain in the area right now. I'm Anne-Marie Tiernan along with our meteorologist Matt Standards, who's joining us today, saying depending on where you are, you could see some raindrops.
Yeah, a lot of us are going to stay dry, but then a few of us, you can get a quick shower.
Yeah.
Can we do that in game 5? Can we do it in 5?
I hope so.
Come on, let's do it.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be great.
It would be so great for our city. It'd be so great for the owner.
Yes.
You know, Herb Simon, you know, that you did it. You got to the finals.
Come on. We got this. Let's talk about some of those rain chances, kind of let you know who has that best chance throughout the day today. Right now, we are dry. We've got a good mix of sun and clouds. That sun feels great out there, and we're quickly warming things up. We're in the mid-60s now. We'll be in the upper 60s in the next hour, probably some 70s throughout the afternoon. There is no wind whatsoever, and that's one of the reasons why we had all that fog this morning that we are tracking. But no more fog out there, just a good mix of sun and clouds. Today, the clouds will start to increase again later this afternoon and evening, and there could be a couple spotty showers every once in a while. Very hit or miss. There's about a 20% chance for a shower this evening. The rain that you see crossing the Mississippi right now is on the way, but I think a lot of it doesn't really quite get here until maybe after 10 o'clock tonight. So there's a very low rain chance. We have a lot of boys track and field regionals across the state, a lot of baseball games, softball. We're going into sectional mode this weekend. We'll be watching maybe a stray shower, but I do think a lot of us will stay dry throughout the rest of the day today. So you see those mid-60s closer to Indy. Where we've had more sun for a little bit longer, low 70s there in Bloomington and Bedford. It is a beautiful day. I think most of us should get into the 70s here shortly. But coming up, we do have to talk about some of the rain chances that are on the way. Anne-Marie, nothing severe, but we're going to let you know how much rain you can expect and which counties have the highest chance of rain as we go into your Friday, which is probably our last day for rain chances for a few days. So we're going to time everything out for you, Anne-Marie, here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Matt. We'll check back. In the meantime, we want to get you up to speed on the latest headlines. New here at noon, firefighters on the south side in Greenwood are investigating after multiple fires were reported at a group of apartment complexes. We know that the fires occurred at 3 places: the Westminster Apartments on Parlington Place, Polo Run Apartments on Kings Mill Road, and Auburn Place Apartments on Wooddale Terrace. Authorities say all the fires were within a mile of each other. No injuries are reported, but officials say there is some structural damage. Our crew in Greenwood right now gathering additional details. And one person is dead this afternoon after a crash on the city's northwest side. We want to show you the scene. This is around 11 o'clock last night on the ramp to I-465 South. Limited details surrounding the crash right now, and we are working to learn more about what led up to it and who was involved. And right now there is a hearing that's underway to determine if a teen driver is being waived to adult court for charges in a deadly crash. The teen is Mason Alexander, who was a recent Hamilton Southeastern graduate and a football player who died in that crash. He was riding with one of his friends. We're not naming the name of that driver because he is a teen and hasn't yet been charged as an adult. He was a teen at the time of the crash. Right now he is 18. He's formally accused of reckless homicide and false identification. Police say that Alexander, who we're looking at pictures of here, was in that passenger seat when the driver tried to pass a car along Florida Road near East 104th Street. Police say the car swerved to avoid an oncoming vehicle, but then slammed into a tree. 13 News is in the courtroom for that hearing, and we'll bring you the latest decision from the court as our news coverage continues today on all platforms and at 4 p.m. A woman accused of not turning in her ex-boyfriend for the murder of his 5-year-old daughter went before a judge today. Andrea Lopez Figueroa faces multiple charges for not turning in Zachary Arnold. This is video from that hearing today. Arnold is accused of killing his 5-year-old daughter, Zara. Police say they did respond to a call about a child falling down the stairs earlier in the month. They say when they got there, officers found Zara and tried to perform life-saving measures, but medics later pronounced her dead. Court documents say that Zara's preliminary cause of death is blunt force trauma to the head. Those documents also show that Arnold has a history of allegedly abusing Zara and that he later admitted to choking her several times, including the night that she died. Now, according to the court documents, his ex-girlfriend Lopez Figueroa told detectives that she saw Arnold choking Zara multiple times and that she had videos on her phone showing similar instances, but she never reported anything. She entered a preliminary plea of not guilty. Her next hearing is now set for July. A former chiropractor in Avon is accused of sexual battery and will be sentenced either to home detention or community service later this afternoon. Rock Bird is pleading guilty now to 4 counts of sexual battery after multiple women came forward accusing him of touching them inappropriately during their appointments. He was supposed to be sentenced earlier this year, but his attorneys had arguments over a part of the plea agreement. Prosecutors argued that meant home detention or community service would still be on the table. Bird will also be required to register as a sex offender for 10 years, according to the deal. We'll be at today's sentencing. It is set for 1 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll bring you the latest as our coverage continues here on all WTHR platforms. A woman is now working with police after she says she shot a man who she says was trying to sexually assault her 12-year-old daughter. Court documents revealed that police responded to the shooting at the Baymont Inn on Eagle View Drive. Officers say when they got there, they learned that the girl and her sister had met up with their mom and a man named Bruce Pierce in the hotel lobby. After going back to a hotel room, the mom was carrying bags to the car and the girl stayed behind in the room with Pierce. That's when she says he tried to assault her while holding a gun and even ripping her clothes. According to the documents, the mom then came back into the room. She saw what was happening and she fired at Pierce using her own gun. Pierce went to the hospital. The girl was checked out at Riley Hospital. Pierce has multiple previous child molestation convictions and now has a warrant out for his arrest on new charges that include child molesting, rape, and unlawfully owning a firearm. To the south now, where we know that police in Bloomington are tackling a shortage of officers right now. That's despite the recent hiring of 15 new officers. They say the numbers, fortunately, are heading in the right direction. The chief, Mike Dekoff, tells us that competing with other police agencies across the state makes keeping officers in Bloomington a bit of a challenge, but they're working at both reducing crime with fewer officers to do it. Overall crime and violent crime rates are down in Bloomington last year. The chief says it's because of proactive policing, things like traffic stops and targeted patrols. But he says they still need more officers to make more head ground.
And so now that we've upped the salary, we've increased the benefits, we're starting to see more and more people apply for jobs with us. We went through several years where nobody wanted to be a police officer. That's starting to change, but you have to be competitive.
The department has struggled to keep a full staff for the past few years, but again, the numbers are starting to improve. They're also working to relocate to a new building right now. And here in Indianapolis, IMPD is looking for feedback and they want it to come from you. And to do that, they're hosting meetings. These are meetings without officers or top brass. This is by design. Alex Almanza was there for the most recent discussion.
At the Brightwood Community Center, neighbors are gathering for an honest discussion. Paper on the wall, questions prompting neighbors to think, how can IMPD improve relations with the community?
This is our time to have a good input, and I think I'm thankful that we've been asked to do this.
Instead of IMPD leading the conversation, representatives from Taylor Advising are acting as a neutral third party, taking down notes and gathering feedback to report back to IMPD.
One of the things that's been important to our team from the beginning is to ensure that every person in this city has a voice, regardless of what language you speak, regardless of what part of the city you live in.
It's part of a 5-year strategic plan announced earlier this year, meant to guide the future of IMPD and give them goals to meet while addressing the needs of both officers and Hoosiers.
This is a team effort between your police department, both sworn and professional staff, and the community we serve. Your values and what you'd like to see are going to be our roadmap for the next 5 years.
Longtime neighbors say if IMPD is willing to make these steps, the community also has to do their part.
We can't complain after the fact. We have to show up, and then we have some legs to stand on once we say what it is that we need from them.
Taylor Advising will finish up that strategic plan by 2026. Meanwhile, more listening sessions can be found on our website, as well as an anonymous survey at WTHR.com. In Indianapolis, Alex Almanza, 13 News.